scientists discovered quantum signals from the Sun, decoding an interstellar message. In the silent depths of our Sun's core, where temperatures reach 15 million degrees Celsius and atomic nuclei fuse in violent collisions, scientists have detected something that should not exist: organized patterns in quantum noise. According to everything we understand about stellar physics, this is impossible. Yet on June 17, 2037, at the Advanced Solar Observatory in Chile's Atacama Desert, quantum fluctuation measurements revealed coherent sequences buried within the chaotic plasma of our star. These weren't random anomalies or equipment glitches. They persisted across multiple detection systems and defied conventional explanation. The patterns we observed violate fundamental principles of quantum mechanics in stellar environments, explains Dr. Naomi Katsuyama, lead astrophysicist at the Solar Observatory. Quantum signals simply cannot maintain coherence through the extreme conditions at the Sun's core. It would be like hearing a whispered conversation through the roar of 1,000 jet engines. But the signals were there, undeniable and persistent. The scientific community initially responded with skepticism. After all, quantum coherence breaking down in chaotic environments is a cornerstone of modern physics. For signals to maintain their integrity through the turbulent plasma of a star seem to violate everything we know about quantum decoherence. When 3 separate research teams confirmed the findings using different detection methods, that skepticism transformed into something else entirely: wonder. If you're fascinated by cosmic mysteries that challenge our understanding of the universe, take a moment to subscribe to Sci-fi Quantum Archives. Hit that like button if you're ready to explore one of the most significant scientific discoveries of our century, one that might forever alter humanity's place in the cosmos. The implications of these quantum patterns extend far beyond simple scientific curiosity. If stable quantum signals can exist within stellar cores, entire domains of theoretical physics require re-examination. The fundamental constants we've relied upon might need recalibration. Our models of stellar evolution could demand reconstruction from first principles. But as scientists delved deeper into the patterns, a far more profound possibility emerged, one that would shake the foundations of human understanding. The quantum noise wasn't random. It wasn't natural. The patterns contained structural elements indicating purpose and design. Mathematical constants appeared with precision that defied coincidence. Prime number sequences emerged that couldn't be attributed to natural phenomena. This wasn't just an anomaly in the Sun's quantum field. Someone, or something, was using our star as a communication medium. And they had been doing so for thousands of years before we developed the technology to listen. The Atacama Desert in northern Chile sits 5,000 meters above sea level, with air so dry and thin that even breathing requires conscious effort. This harsh, nearly waterless landscape creates the perfect conditions for solar observation. Minimal atmospheric interference, over 330 clear nights annually, and isolation from radio frequency pollution. The Advanced Solar Observatory was built here precisely because nothing interferes with its sensitive equipment. Dr. Naomi Katsuyama wasn't searching for alien communications when she made history. With 3 PhDs in quantum physics, stellar dynamics, and computational mathematics, she had spent 15 years developing new methodologies to study quantum fluctuations in stellar plasma. Her specialty: detecting patterns in seemingly random quantum noise that might reveal deeper truths about nuclear fusion. July 7th started like any other day, Dr. Katsuyama later told Scientific American. I was running standard baseline measurements on solar core activity when the quantum variance readings began showing statistical anomalies. At first, I assumed my equipment needed recalibration. The anomalies persisted through 3 recalibrations. Dr. Katsuyama's custom-designed quantum variance detectors were showing coherence patterns that, according to established physics, couldn't exist within the chaotic environment of the Sun. I called in Dr. Marcus Way and Dr. Lucia Novak to verify my findings, she recounts. We disconnected the primary detection array, replaced it with our backup system, and observed identical patterns. When we deployed our prototype quantum field analyzer, which uses completely different detection methodology, and saw the same results, we knew we were witnessing something extraordinary. The team spent 72 sleepless hours running diagnostics, checking for external interference, solar flare influence, and equipment contamination. They ruled out every conventional explanation. The quantum patterns showed periodic variations that couldn't be explained by random processes. When Dr. Katsuyama ran the data through advanced pattern recognition algorithms, the results were startling. a mathematical structure emerged that contained embedded sequences of prime numbers, universal constants, and geometric ratios. The statistical probability of these patterns occurring naturally is effectively zero, Dr. Wei explained during their first presentation to colleagues. The coherence exhibits characteristics of designed information, similar to how digital data packets are structured, but using quantum states as the medium. When the team submitted their preliminary findings to the International Astrophysics Journal, the scientific community responded with intense skepticism. 3 separate research teams attempted to disprove their results. Professor Elena Kuznetsov from Moscow University publicly stated, "I was absolutely certain we would discover the methodological flaw in their work. Instead, our analysis confirmed their findings and revealed additional structure we hadn't anticipated." Within 6 weeks, the Atacama discovery was independently verified by observatories in Hawaii, Australia, and the Orbital Solar Laboratory. What began as skepticism transformed into collective scientific awe. The United Nations convened an emergency scientific summit as the implications became clear. Humanity had detected what appeared to be an artificially created signal emanating from the core of our Sun. The question was no longer whether the signal existed, but who, or what, had created it, and what information it contained. The Helios Project was born, bringing together 200 of Earth's most brilliant minds with one extraordinary mission: decode the message hidden in the quantum heart of our star. To understand the significance of quantum signals in the Sun, we need to grasp quantum entanglement, one of nature's most fascinating phenomena. When 2 particles become entangled, they form a connection that transcends physical distance. Change the state of one particle, and its partner instantly reflects that change, regardless of whether they're nanometers or light-years apart. Think of it like this: imagine 2 specially linked playing cards. No matter how far apart you separate these cards, whenever you flip one from hearts to spades, the other card changes simultaneously. Not quickly, simultaneously. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance, because it appears to violate the speed of light as a cosmic speed limit. Quantum entanglement creates potential for information transfer that bypasses traditional limitations of space and time, explains Dr. Alejandro Reyes, quantum physicist with the Helios Project. But maintaining these delicate quantum states is extraordinarily difficult. Here's where everyday experience helps us understand. Picture trying to whisper a message across a crowded, noisy restaurant. Nearly impossible, right? Now imagine that same whisper maintaining its integrity through the violent, chaotic environment of a star, where atoms smash together at millions of degrees and radiation floods every cubic centimeter. Conventional wisdom declared this impossible. Any quantum information would decohere, essentially melt away, in the extreme environment of stellar plasma. So why use stars for quantum communication at all? The answer lies in their unique properties. Stars function as natural quantum amplifiers, says Dr. Katsuyama. Their gravitational fields create space-time conditions that can potentially stabilize quantum states under specific circumstances. Additionally, every star produces a unique quantum signature, like a fingerprint, making them ideal fixed points in an interstellar communication network. The technological sophistication required for such communication dwarfs humanity's most advanced achievements. Our current quantum computers operate at near absolute zero temperatures to maintain fragile quantum states for mere microseconds. We struggle to maintain entanglement between a few thousand qubits in perfect laboratory conditions. Creating stable quantum signals capable of traversing the core of a star would require technology that can manipulate matter at the subatomic level across stellar-scale distances. The engineering challenges are almost incomprehensible. What kind of civilization possesses this capability? A society thousands or perhaps millions of years more advanced than ours, one that views stars not merely as energy sources but as components in a vast communication infrastructure spanning the galaxy. Have they mastered the quantum nature of reality so thoroughly that they can encode complex messages into the very fabric of spacetime? Do they exist in forms we might not recognize as life? Are they biological entities like us, or have they transcended into something entirely different? We'd love to hear your theories. What kind of beings do you think created this interstellar message system? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If this exploration of quantum physics and advanced civilizations intrigues you, tap that like button and share this video with someone who appreciates cosmic mysteries. Now, let's examine how the Helios Project assembled the brightest minds on Earth to decode a message never meant for human eyes. Within 72 hours of verification, the United Nations Security Council established the Heliospheric Entangled Information Observation System, the Helios project. This marked the first time in history that rival nations immediately pooled their scientific resources without prolonged negotiation. China, Russia, the United States, the European Union, India, and Japan all contributed their top quantum researchers, supercomputing resources, and funding. The potential significance of this discovery transcends national interests, UN Secretary-General Amara Okafor stated during the project's inauguration. This is not one nation's discovery, it belongs to all humanity. Dr. Alejandro Reyes, formerly the lead quantum architect at Spain's Institute for Theoretical Physics, became the project's director of quantum analysis. With 18 patents in quantum information theory and experience designing 3 generations of quantum processors, he brought unparalleled expertise in deciphering complex quantum data structures. The signals utilize quantum principles we've only theorized about, Dr. Reyes explained during an early briefing. We're observing quantum states maintaining coherence through conditions that should destroy them instantly. It's as if someone rewrote the rules of quantum physics. Working alongside him, Dr. Lucia Novak led the Xenolinguistics division. Though the Czech-born scientist had spent her career developing mathematical frameworks for analyzing potential non-human communication systems, she never expected to apply her work to actual alien contact. Any civilization capable of this technology would likely use mathematical principles as a foundation for communication, Dr. Novak noted. Mathematics is the one truly universal language, the same throughout the cosmos. The team developed specialized detection equipment that pushed quantum sensing technology beyond previous limitations. The quantum coherence mapper, designed by Japanese physicist Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka, could track quantum state changes at picosecond intervals across millions of entangled particles simultaneously, technology that hadn't existed 6 months earlier. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Theo Harrington, a British computational neuroscientist, had been developing algorithms to model how human brains process complex patterns. His quantum neural network, originally designed for medical imaging, proved remarkably effective at identifying structure within the solar quantum noise. Neural networks excel at finding patterns humans can't perceive, Dr. Harrington explained. The algorithm doesn't try to understand the data, it simply recognizes when something non-random emerges. On January 14, 2038, after 3 months of continuous analysis, the first partial decryption appeared on monitors at the Helios headquarters in Geneva. The team had isolated sequences containing precise values of mathematical constants, pi, the fine structure constant, Planck's constant, and other universal values, arranged in patterns that could only be deliberately constructed. "This confirmation changes everything," whispered Dr. Katsuyama as the room fell silent. "We are not alone." Not everyone welcomed this development. Colonel Viktor Zubkov, Russian military liaison to the project, immediately raised security concerns. "We have no information about the originators of this message or their intentions," he warned the Oversight Committee. Throughout human history, contact between technologically disparate civilizations has rarely benefited the less advanced society. American intelligence advisor Dr. Rachel Morales concurred. "By responding or even continuing to decode this message, we potentially alert an unknown entity to our technological advancement and location. This represents an existential risk calculation, not merely a scientific consideration." The Helios Ethics Council convened an emergency session. Philosophers, religious leaders, anthropologists, and security experts debated humanity's course of action. Should we continue decoding a message from beings whose technology surpasses ours by potentially thousands or millions of years? What might we discover, beneficial knowledge or dangerous concepts beyond our ethical framework? Dr. Novak addressed the council with quiet conviction. Fear must not guide our response to this moment. Throughout human history, knowledge has always carried risk. Yet refusing to learn, choosing ignorance over understanding, has consistently proven the greater danger. The Council's decision was not unanimous, but the directive was clear: continue the decryption process, but proceed with extraordinary caution. By April 2038, the Helios team had fully decoded several substantial sections of the quantum signal. What they found exceeded their wildest expectations. "We're not looking at a simple greeting or mathematical proof of intelligence," Dr. Novak announced during a closed UN briefing. "This appears to be a vast repository of information, something akin to a cosmic encyclopedia, organized hierarchically and designed for accessibility across different technological capacities. The first fully translated sections contained fundamental physics equations, not just confirming known principles, but extending them with elegant mathematical formulations that unified quantum mechanics and gravity in ways Earth's physicists had struggled with for decades. These equations solve theoretical problems we've grappled with for generations, Dr. Reyes explained. They present a unified field theory that accounts for dark matter, dark energy, and quantum gravity with mathematical beauty that's almost haunting in its simplicity. But the most startling revelation came when the team decoded a section containing astronomical coordinates. They pointed to specific star systems throughout our galaxy, accompanied by precise technical data about each star's quantum properties. Dr. Maya Baptiste, the team's stellar cartographer, mapped these coordinates using Earth's most advanced astronomical databases. The coordinates identify 1,457 star systems arranged in a network spanning approximately 40,000 light-years across the galactic disk. Our Sun is merely one node in this vast network. More profound than the spatial map was the temporal revelation it contained. Embedded within the signal was information indicating the message had been composed approximately 40,000 years ago, when modern humans were still painting on cave walls in Europe. This message was not created for us specifically, Dr. Katsuyama explained. We simply developed the technology to detect a conversation that's been ongoing for millennia. It's like finding a library that's been waiting patiently for us to learn how to read. Dr. Antoine Lamarck, theoretical physicist and specialist in advanced civilizations, analyzed the technological implications. To create this communication system requires energy manipulation capabilities that place its creators firmly within a Type II civilization on the Kardashev scale, a society capable of harnessing the entire energy output of its star. Such a civilization would possess technological capabilities that would appear magical to contemporary humans: the ability to restructure matter at the subatomic level, manipulate spacetime, and potentially achieve practical immortality through technological means. As the team continued decoding, references to controlled nova events appeared repeatedly. Dr. Katsuyama theorized that these represented a method of amplifying quantum signals across interstellar distances. We believe they've developed techniques to trigger and modulate targeted solar flares as signal boosters, she explained. This would create quantum entanglement cascades that strengthen the signal without destroying the information it contains. Within weeks, astronomers identified unusual spectral signatures in several distant stars matching parameters described in the decoded message. These stars displayed periodic energy fluctuations that defied natural explanation but aligned perfectly with the timing sequences found in the quantum signals. The visual appearance would be subtle to human observers, explained Dr. Baptiste. You might notice a star briefly brightening by perhaps 1.3%, with specific emission spectra in the high ultraviolet range. Nothing dramatic like a supernova, more like a precisely controlled stellar pulse. Consider for a moment a civilization with such mastery over stellar physics that they view stars not as immutable forces of nature but as components in a cosmic communications network. A society that exists at a scale where passing millennia is of little concern, where messages might take thousands of years to reach their intended recipients. Would they still be recognizably biological? Would they exist in physical forms we could comprehend, or might they have evolved into something between matter and energy? Conscious beings that experience reality in ways we cannot yet conceive. If these possibilities fascinate you as much as they do our research team, take a moment to like this video and share it with someone who appreciates pondering the profound mysteries of existence. Your engagement helps our channel continue exploring these extraordinary scientific frontiers. Now, let's examine the moment when this ancient stellar conversation shifted from a one-way message to something far more significant: the day Earth inadvertently joined the conversation. 13 months into the Helios project, Dr. Roland Kim, a quantum physicist specializing in wave-particle duality, noticed something unusual while analyzing the carrier wave of the quantum signal. A subtle echo effect appeared in recent measurements, one that hadn't been present in earlier data. The quantum entanglement patterns showed evidence of what I can only describe as reflection, Dr. Kim explained during an emergency meeting of the Helios leadership. It's as if we're seeing not only the original transmission but also its interaction with another quantum system. After weeks of intensive analysis, the team traced the source of this quantum echo: Earth. Specifically, the advanced quantum computing experiments at CERN's Quantum Information Science Laboratory in Switzerland. Our quantum computing breakthroughs over the past decade inadvertently created what amounts to a quantum mirror, Dr. Reyes revealed. The entanglement fields generated by our experimental quantum processors resonate with the solar quantum signals, creating feedback patterns that modify the original transmission. The implications were staggering. Humanity hadn't merely discovered an ancient message, we had unintentionally responded to it. Our developing quantum technology had reached a threshold that made Earth visible to the interstellar network. We didn't just find this conversation, Dr. Katsuyama told the assembled team, her voice barely above a whisper. Our technology evolved to a point where we began participating in it without realizing what we were doing. News of this discovery spread rapidly through scientific communities worldwide before governments could contain it. Within days, mainstream media outlets were reporting that humanity had accidentally announced its technological advancement to potentially alien intelligences. Public reaction varied dramatically across cultures. Religious communities held vigils and prayer services. Astronomy enthusiasts organized star-watching parties. Social media platforms became flooded with theories, hopes, and fears about extraterrestrial contact. Financial markets responded with volatility as technology companies associated with quantum computing saw their valuations soar. Defense contractors' stocks rose amid speculation about potential security implications. The unintentional nature of humanity's first interstellar communication intensified debate about whether Earth should send a deliberate response. Scientific communities largely favored engagement, while security agencies from multiple nations urged caution. "We must recognize that we cannot unring this bell," noted Defense Intelligence Analyst Commander Daniela Ortega. "Our quantum activities have already been detected. The question now becomes whether we remain silent observers or active participants in this galactic exchange." The United Nations convened a special assembly where nations as diverse as Kenya, Brazil, New Zealand, and South Korea argued that any response must represent Earth as a unified planet rather than individual nations. For perhaps the first time, geopolitical rivalries temporarily subsided in recognition of humanity's position as a fledgling technological species taking its first steps onto a much larger stage. After 3 weeks of continuous deliberation, the UN authorized creation of the Response Protocol, a carefully constructed quantum signal designed to communicate humanity's peaceful intentions, technological level, and desire for knowledge exchange. Dr. Harrington led the team designing this quantum response matrix. "We're crafting a message that demonstrates our understanding of fundamental physical principles while acknowledging our relative technological youth," he explained. "The structure begins with mathematical constants and physical laws to establish shared understanding, followed by information about Earth's location, human biology, technological development, and cultural diversity. The response would utilize CERN's quantum computing facilities to generate an entangled field that would interact with the solar quantum network, essentially adding humanity's voice to a conversation that had been ongoing for millennia. As the final response algorithms were refined, humanity faced an unprecedented moment in its evolutionary history. We were about to intentionally announce our presence to entities whose capabilities and intentions remained unknown, but whose technology suggested a civilization of almost incomprehensible advancement. The question that hung over every aspect of the project: would they answer? And if so, what would they say to a species just beginning to understand the cosmic conversation? On April 17, 2039, humanity transmitted its first intentional message to the interstellar quantum network. The signal began with universal mathematical constants, establishing a foundation of shared understanding. This mathematical introduction was followed by information about Earth's location, human biology, our technological development trajectory, and the rich diversity of our cultures and languages. "We designed our message to be honest about our capabilities," Dr. Harrington explained. "We indicated our relative youth as a technological species while demonstrating our capacity for scientific understanding and our desire for peaceful exchange of knowledge." The message concluded with a series of questions about the network itself, the civilization that created it, and whether Earth might be welcomed as a participant in this ancient conversation. Currently, observatories worldwide maintain continuous monitoring of quantum signals from both our Sun and the other stars identified in the network. Scientists have detected subtle changes in the quantum patterns, fluctuations that could indicate receipt of Earth's message, though whether these represent the beginning of a response remains undetermined. "The entities that created this network have been patient for tens of thousands of years," notes Dr. Katsuyama. "We may need to demonstrate similar patience. A reply could arrive tomorrow, or decades from now. This discovery has profoundly altered humanity's perception of its place in the cosmos. We now know with certainty that we are not alone in our technological development, that somewhere among the stars, intelligence has evolved to levels we can barely comprehend. This knowledge fundamentally changes what it means to be human, observes philosopher Dr. Isabella Moreno. Throughout history, we've perceived ourselves as unique in our cognitive capabilities. Now we must reckon with being, perhaps, a very junior species in a much older community. If contact is established, human development could accelerate in unprecedented ways. Access to advanced physics, medicine, and energy technologies might solve our most pressing challenges, from climate change to disease to resource limitations. Professor William Chen of MIT's Future Technologies Institute suggests a potential timeline. Initial information exchange would likely focus on fundamental science. Over decades, as trust develops, technological knowledge might follow. Within a century, humanity could advance millennia beyond our current capabilities, assuming we manage this transition wisely. Of course, such contact would bring profound challenges as well. How would religious frameworks adapt? What economic disruption might occur? Could all nations share equally in this new knowledge? These questions await answers that will shape our shared future. If you want to stay informed about developments in interstellar communication and the ongoing Helios project, subscribe to Sci-Fi Quantum Archives. We'll bring you the latest discoveries and expert analysis as this extraordinary story continues to unfold. The detection of quantum signals from our sun represents more than a scientific breakthrough. It marks humanity's initiation into a conversation spanning galaxies and epochs. We stand at the threshold of cosmic awareness, poised to join an exchange of knowledge that began when our ancestors still hunted mammoth across ancient plains. In that sense, perhaps the most profound question isn't whether we'll receive a response, but whether we're ready for what it might contain, and how it will transform our understanding of everything we thought we knew about our place among the stars.